What's good, ICG gang? Today we are going to be looking at the character Isol. I'm going to be teaching you guys a build that I actually created myself. I've been doing a lot of research over the saved plans, and really this one stood out the most to me. Now, there's like very different builds when it comes to the pistol. Like, you can either be an auto attacker, which I mean, the auto attack pistol, it does amazing damage early game. It kind of falls off later in the game though, but this build right here, I like to call it, it's very mobile. You're able to kite with your skills a lot better, and the cooldowns reduced on your skills just helps out even more. Now, the first thing you see here is that off this Pentagon, you can already tell there is a huge difference when it comes to mobility between the assault rifle and the pistol. And that's why I like the pistol more. It's very more mechanical. It allows you to actually outplay your opponents in the match very, very easily when it comes to the pistol, just because of how fast you are. So, first off, we're going to start off with the Semtex bomb. As you see in these clips right here, you'll see that every time that you auto attack the opponent, it actually reduces the timer remaining on the Semtex bomb. And this can also be used as an engagement, or you can use it as a disengage. Really what I like to do, I like to engage with it, actually combining it with my E, so that way if you set up telephone cameras, or you set up, you know, just cameras around, and you see the enemy is coming, and you see that they're by themselves, you can also like engage with your E, which is the camouflage, and you're able to silently walk up to them, and then you can easily land a Q. So that's how I like to use my Semtex bomb, and it actually roosts the enemy as well. Whenever the timer goes off and the bomb explodes, it roots them in place, and then you can pretty much just play off of that. So next we have Rebel Assault. Now this one, I actually max second, because with the pistol, with this build right here, you do insane amounts of damage with the Rebel Assault, which I will definitely be demonstrating later on in the video, guys. You'll see just how important it is to combine, you know, your Semtex bomb with the Rebel Assault, because it just bursts enemies very well. So that's that. It's pretty much very self-explanatory. It has a cone area effect, and everybody within the cone it does damage to. It can be AoE. You can actually use it very, like, if you're kiting, if you're walking backwards, you can actually point it towards the enemy as you're walking backwards, and, you know, just kite them pretty much. That's what I like to do. So next we have the E camouflage. As I explained earlier, you can use it as an engagement, or you can use it as a disengage. If you're running away from an enemy, it's smart to use this skill and like try to juke them out, because it allows you to go invis, and the more you level up, the amount of time that your invis actually increases. So you can literally go invis for like 4 seconds, and that allows you to like outplay your opponent as well. You can, you know, as in this clip right here, you can E outside of the bush, you know, walk around, come back inside the bush. It's just based off how you play, and whether if you want to use that as a disengage or an engagement. So now we got the ulti, which I would like to say, I do use it often, but I don't really use it that much, because you don't really use it while you're in the middle of a fight. You use it in a bush, or you use it pretty much anywhere, and when the enemy walks onto it, it deals damage to them and it reduces their speed. So pretty much how you want to use it, let's say that you're camping in a bush, and then you see the enemy's coming, you just place your ulti down, and if they're coming inside the bush, the bomb goes off in a circle, and it slows them, and it does pretty good amount of damage as well. Main attribute, or the stat that you want to get when it comes to this build, is you want to look for the skill amplification. This will increase your skills damage by a great amount, and that's pretty much why I base this build around that. So this you can actually get at level 4 if you time it correctly with the route that you want to go. If you time it correctly, you can get it at level 4, and it will help you out so much when it comes to looting, because the movement speed you get from this while you're not in combat is insane, and you'll be able to see that in the video. Then we have also the Uchiwa, which gives you lifesteal on top of skill amplification. We have that. We have the commander's armor, which is also the same thing. You know, pretty much everything that I have in this build, guys, will be either cooldown reduction or skill amplification, or it'll be both of them. Okay. All right, so this is pretty much the route that you're going to be doing in this video, guys. First, you're going to start archery range. We're going to go ahead and get everything that we can here. You really want to aim to pretty much get your key items, and then also you want to get the eggs or the chocolate that spawns here, because you are going to be wanting food whenever you are kiting. So the reason being for that is because Isol, this build requires you to kite a lot. It requires you to run away, come back, run away, come back. And during that time that you're running away and coming back, you want to be aggressively healing. So you want to be eating the food that you can and the SP regen potions that you can. That way that you just get full health while you're kiting. So then you want to come over to the bottom left of the skull. You want to go ahead and gather these chickens up. Try not to get them in the same spot, because if you do, it'll kind of be hard to like loot each one, because they'll be stacked on top, and then it'll pretty much be impossible to do, honestly. So you got your leathers here, the leathers. You got the leathers. You really want to go for the lighter. That's probably the main thing you want to get here, because if you get the lighter, and when you go to a hotel, you'll be able to get your purple weapon, and that's going to increase your damage output a lot. And then if you can, go ahead and get yourself an extra lighter, because you're going to want to be making steaks soon from all the mobs that you're going to be killing and getting the meat from them. And then if you use the lighter on top of the stone that you gather, you're going to be getting the heating material that you need to make steak. So now we got everything here. Don't forget to get your stone, by the way. I usually do it on the way down to Tree of Life. You got Tree of Life that spawns in a minute at hotel. So on the beginning of day 2, you'll get the Tree of Life that spawns in hotel. Sometimes it's crowded, sometimes it's not. It really just based upon whether other people are doing a build that requires Tree of Life, which, I mean, Tree of Life can go into a lot of things, or if it's just people just being greedy, not wanting others to get Tree of Life, they'll come to Tree of Life and try to kill people or set up an ambush. That way no one else can get it. But luckily, guys, just loot anything that you can on the way to Tree of Life if you have time, because you might get some items that you need within the forest to be able to build certain gear that you are going to need for your final build. So day 2, the start of day 2, I still had 6 seconds left after I looted everything that I needed in the forest. Well, not everything, but everything that was on the way. So I went ahead and got my heated stones ready. Now we're going to do Tree of Life. As you see, there's pings in the hotel. People are there, but we're just going to avoid all of that, guys. We're going to avoid that mostly because we want to get full build before we even start to fight. The reason why is because without the boost or without the weapon, we're not going to have the movement speed, and without anything else, we're not going to have the skill amplification required to actually do burst amounts of damage. Now, I went ahead and build right here because I didn't think Sylvia was really going to touch me, because usually people just, mind their own business. But with Isol, I do get aggressive, especially if somebody is bothering me. I tend to just go for the kill because it irritates me. So I might as well, just go ahead and get that out the way, get them out the way, so that way they won't be a problem later on in the game. But look, already on day 1 nighttime, my bad for saying day 2 earlier, day 1 nighttime, we get the boost that we need, the legendary boost, and on top of that, we should be getting our purple weapon very soon. All we have to do is find another piece of cloth. Now, sometimes it's not this easy, okay? It may not be this easy because, like I said in the beginning, it might be based off RNG. And when I say RNG, that just means like it's just random luck, okay? You never really know what you're going to get when you're going to get it. You just got to, work with what you can get. So we got our Uchiwa, we got our legendary boots, and we got our purple weapon, okay? Now, this is the point in the game where if you feel like you are strong enough, you can go ahead. If you have a food and water, okay? You can go ahead and try to get some early game picks. You don't have to necessarily. You can finish your build. But with these 3 core items, you are strong enough to get some picks and kite already. So it's really based off what you want to do. By the way, make sure that you always pay attention to the time, okay? If you see that an area that you need to go to is about to close, go ahead and do that first, and you can come back. You can always come back. Just remember that. Just play safe. because I was being dumb right here. I'm not gonna lie. I go ahead and risk it a lot, because I like to get I like to get what I can as soon as I can. So I went ahead and risked having the time um, taken off of my restricted area, because I just like I said, I just like to loot as much as I can. And luckily we were able to get a lot of the stuff that we did need. Now all we have to do is just go up to forest next and finish the build off. Um, but as you see, I took a good 7 seconds off of my time, just because I did it. I was risking it. I was cooking too much. I was making water too much. I could have did it later after I looted, but I like having the food on me, because you never know when an enemy can pull up on you and then start fighting. So that's why. And then I actually got really lucky with this chest. That means we need one less pickaxe and one less gold or gemstone, and we already got pretty much full build after this. So literally all you need is some gold now, guys, in forest, and then you need to get your bracelet in avenue or an alley, and then you will be fully built. So at this point, guys, we are only on day 2, daytime. Many people probably won't even have this close to being full build already at this time, just because, like I said, it's RNG based. But there still might be people who are even faster than you at this moment, and even have a build way stronger than you so far. But honestly, at this point, like I said, I couldn't imagine a build that was going to be able to outdo my speed and my burst. So I went ahead and pretty much you'll just see you see how much damage Isol can do, especially at this point in the game. We got our gold, so we're not scared of anybody now. We only are missing one piece of gear now, just one, and that's the Drapnir. We got another gold. We were getting really lucky in this forest. Like this, I don't think I've ever been able to get the build this fast. But if you do get it this fast, guys, it's pretty much a easy win. You're very you have a great chance to win the match if you get the build this early, because you can just get easy picks, guys. Easy picks as long as you have your food on you. And don't forget to equip your gear, as I do in this video so far. I totally forgot that my gear wasn't equipped yet. I wasn't even paying attention, but I think I do realize that I had my gear. Oh, did I have it in this fight? See, like I said, you just got to make sure that that you don't forget to equip the gear, guys. It's very important, because I tend to forget sometimes, especially when you get a piece from a chest and it's not on you already. You just forget. But as you see, I've noticed that I didn't have it and went ahead and dropped it. So that's good that we did that, because that is very vital to our build. We're going to need everything that we can when it comes to this build. So out of movement speed, you are very quick, guys. As you see, compared to Nadine, my movement speed is far greater, just because of my boost that I have on, and you get it early game. So that's why I'm telling you, try to make sure you get that tree of life in hotel first, because the quicker you get the boost, the faster you're going to be able to gather all the materials that you can. And that's really what it comes down to. So now I see that there's still 16 people alive. So I'm like, nobody's really fighting yet. So let's go ahead and get some picks off. Let's start adding these kills up, because we really need to at this point. I don't want a bunch of people, like melee people, especially people like Jackie, being able to just start one-shotting us and stuff. So I pay attention to my minimap. I'm almost full build. At this point, I know for sure that no one's really going to be able to touch me. And that's not me being cocky, but just knowing about this build and how strong it can be, I know for a fact that no one should be able to touch me or even get close. So it's just based off how smart you play individually. Luckily, we didn't really run into anybody yet. I went ahead and wanted to finish the build, because I'm already in alley, so why not just go ahead and finish this build off and just try to get get the right stuff, the final build. That way we can just go look for kills and farm up on mobs. And I love farming up on mobs, guys. If you don't know this, pretty much you want to fight any mob you see, especially when you're close to full build. It's going to send off an alert, okay? It's going to send off an alert, but if you are already full build like this, you're going to want to do it, because you just want to stay ahead in the match. You want to stay ahead in the game, especially with Isol, when you want to level up your movement. So you want to be moving as much as possible. Don't forget to get cameras. Go ahead and install the cameras around, especially if you're playing in the area, because you can get caught out. And ISO does have a disengage, but if you're stun locked, it's going to be hard for you to really get away from anybody. So that's why you just want to make sure that you have your camera set up, especially in bushes. Try not to walk near any bushes unless you know for sure no one is in that bush, because like I said, if you get stun locked, you're squishy. Okay, with this build, you're going to be squishy, so you do insane amounts of damage, but you can die very quickly, and that's one of the main problems that Isol has. Okay, so just want to make sure that you don't get ambushed, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. So at this point in the game, we're full build, right? We're full build. We got food. We got drinks. I don't need any more drinks really, because I know I'm going to get kills, and they're most likely going to have food. Now, since they're going to have food and drinks, I don't really need to worry about getting in or start cooking or start drinking anything. So look, we got our first kill. I see my first target. It's Jackie. Jackie's probably the easiest one to kite for me because I just know how she plays. I play her a lot. So I know that no matter what, we'll be fine. So I went ahead, blown it up. Just like that. It's that simple, guys. That simple. You see, literally insane amounts of damage, especially if you're full build. We got the food, we got the drinks, we're good. We're going to go ahead and end it there, okay? We don't have to worry about them anymore. So you see how I use my weapon skill to reset the timing on my bomb, so that way I root them, get the bomb, it explodes, go ahead and click my weapon skill, put another bomb on them while they're already rooted, so you don't miss the next bomb that you need to put on them, Semtex bomb, and then it does it again. It's just a repeat. So we got 2 kills. I see some more pings over here. I'm fully health up, or I got full HP, I got full mana. This is Shuichi. He's going to be squishy as a mess. You know, we're going to go ahead and burst him. So he's dead. He's dead. I got the bomb on him. He has to be down. There ain't no way that he's not. So I see Chiara. She's not too farmed up yet. I'm looking at her build. I'm like, okay, we can fight this. Because if she was full build, I most likely wouldn't have been able to kill her, especially if she did land a snare. So she got 2 legendaries. She had the glass shoes too. I kind of wanted, I told my teammate to go ahead and pick them up because I don't want anybody else getting that. So, and then she's been backing me up this whole match, guys. She's actually been helping me a lot. So then I see the world boss. I'm like, are we strong enough to fight the world boss? And if somebody pulls up, can we kill them while we're low? And I'm thinking, maybe not. Maybe not. I want to make sure it's safe. So I'm going to go ahead and put cameras around. We're going to get some vision because I also want to use Wakeline, the world boss. I want to use her to make sure that there's, to pretty much scout out enemies for me. I pay attention to the chat. So look, we got the tanky person. I hate that character. He's OP to me. So I'm so glad that we were able to burst him. I'm glad that he wasn't at his full potential yet. Then we got Cicella out of here. The damage is insane. Like I said, I can't be touched. I can't be kited because if they try to kite me, I'll just land a Semtex bomb and it'll just be easy kills at that point. You know, after the first Semtex bomb, if you play correctly after the first Semtex bomb, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill because it's so, I don't know, how do you say this? People, when they get the Semtex bomb on top of them, they don't really, they kind of panic. They don't know what to do next. So when they see that timer going down, they're focused on that timer. They're not focused on, oh, he might have a weapon skill, so he can catch up even if I start running, and he might be able to just kill me right away. But they panic, so they forget about the pistol weapon skill, and they don't even try to fight. They try to run away, which you can't run away from Isol, especially as pistol skill, guys. That's just a heads up. And that's pros and cons to this. Pros and cons. If I use weapon skill too early, and they do get out of my Semtex bomb somehow, and I miss the other Semtex bomb, I have no disengage at that point. Like, I do have the E, but I use it to engage a lot. So if I don't have weapon skill or E, I'm at this speed right here if I'm out of movement. But if I'm in movement, if I'm in combat, then I have a terrible speed, and it kind of sucks. But I saw the pings. Like I said, I've been paying attention to pings. We see the pings, so I go ahead and come over here and get these 2 picks real quick. And like I said, they can try to run away, but you can't really run away from Isol. So that's another free 2 kills. And as you see, there's only one other team that remains in the game. I go ahead and loot all these people because, like I said, I want to be stocked up on food. I want to be stocked up on drinks because it's very important, especially this late in the game. It is very important to know where your team, or not where your team, where the enemies are going to be and how well can you kite them. So if I was to start a fight and I know I can get out in time before it gets like real dangerous for me, then I have all this food to back me up right here that's going to be healing me the entire time that I am running. And most likely I'm going to stay full, or if I'm not full HP, I'm going to get back to full HP from the food. So I see wick line here. The enemies haven't showed up anywhere, and the wick line's back to us. So I say, let's just go ahead and kill it. I did miss my bomb, as you see that, guys. I totally missed it. That's really bad of me. But I hit the next one. That's all that matters. So Wickline does some damage, and she's hard for me to kite sometimes. So I did take a good amount of damage there, but I wasn't worried because we have vision on the map in every angle possible. So I know they can't really come just collapse on us. And if I did see them coming and collapse on us, then I would have told her, we need to get out because we're not going to win this fight with Wickline on top of us. But we did kill her. We got the buff from her. So it's really important killing her late game because the buff does help out. It does give you an extra bleed effect. So that's definitely vital when it comes to kiting as well, when you can put a bleed on the opponent. So pretty much at this point, I'm just farming up. I'm making sure that we get our levels because the team isn't showing up. And I know teams like this, they usually stay in a bush waiting for an ambush. So I just pretty much play safe. I don't really like to walk next to bushes. I already know they're not in any of these bushes because, like I said, I scouted the area before. We have vision here, so they can't really just come to a bush that I didn't see them at. As you see in the map, I see that they're finally showing up in one of the cameras. It took a whole minute for them to finally show their faces, but they finally did. I see that they're actually pretty geared up too. Like they're probably as strong as us. They're both level 16. They have very great kiting potential, and we have to kind of get the jump on them because if we don't, we probably are. If they get the jump on us, we're going to get bursted. Like they have burst agents, champions, heroes, whatever you want to call them. They have a lot of bursts. This is a here and it's Hyogen. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't. I probably butchered it, but we know how much damage that those two can do. We see the ulti. I didn't notice the ulti, but she noticed the ulti. You see they already did a lot of damage. Now then I start getting hit by this ulti. I'm like, okay, this is bad. This is looking very bad. But they walk into my trap, so I know they're slowed. So I go ahead and hit a W there. And I say, hey, they're slowed, they're damaged, they're not going to come from us. Let's regroup, rethink this through. As you see, I'm back to full health. That's why it's so important to have your food, your HP pots. And then she runs in. She knows where they are. They're probably low still. They're probably resting or something, so they won't see us coming, and they didn't. So I went ahead and got a snare. I W'd. I didn't really need to use my weapon skill at this point because I already knew, they're low. Another W, and they're dead. That's simple. That's simple, guys. So that's the full explanation on the build. If you like the build, go ahead and leave a comment, leave a like. Let me know what you want to see next, what character you want to see next, and I'll be doing a guide over them as well. This is iCrucial, and thank you guys for watching. ICG Squad, I'm out.